I wasn't supposed to feel nervous. It was just a party. His party. The kind where everything had to be perfect, my dress, my makeup, my smile. Especially my smile. Because when you're with someone like him, appearances aren't optional. They're everything. I checked my reflection one last time before stepping into the salon. My hair was a mess, flat, lifeless, nothing like the polished version of me he liked to show off. That's why I booked this appointment. Big night? A voice called from across the room. I turned, and that's when I saw her. She stood behind one of the chairs, scissors in hand, wearing black like it was part of her skin. Effortless. Calm. Confident in a way that made everything else in the room feel louder. Yeah, I replied, forcing a small smile. Something like that. She nodded, like she already understood more than I said. Come. I'll take care of you. There was something in the way she said it. Not flirty. Not overly friendly. Just certain. I sat down, and she gently ran her fingers through my hair, assessing it. Her touch was light, but it sent a strange shiver down my spine. When was the last time you did something for yourself? She asked casually. I blinked at my reflection. I don't know. This is kind of for him. She met my eyes through the mirror. Not judging. Just seeing. Let's make it for you, she said softly. I didn't respond. I didn't even know how to. As she began working, the sound of scissors filled the air, rhythmic, almost hypnotic. I watched pieces of my old self fall to the floor, strand by strand. And for the first time in a long time, I felt something shift. I just didn't know yet how much everything was about to change. The silence between us wasn't awkward. It was heavy, but not in a bad way. More like something unspoken was sitting in the air, waiting for one of us to notice it first. So, she said, gently sectioning my hair, what kind of party is it? I hesitated. My boyfriend's. Work thing. Important people. Important to him? She asked. I met her eyes in the mirror again. There it was, that quiet intensity. Like, she wasn't just making conversation, she was asking something deeper. Yeah, I said. Important to him. She hummed softly, like she expected that answer. And to you. The question caught me off guard. I opened my mouth, then closed it again. Because the truth was, I didn't know. I guess it should be, I finally said, but even I could hear how unsure I sounded. Her hands slowed for just a second before continuing. You don't have to live your life in shoulds, you know. I let out a small, nervous laugh. That's easy to say. Not really, she replied. Takes practice. There was something about her she didn't push, didn't judge. But every word she said felt like it was peeling something back inside me. You always do this? I asked. Do what? Make your clients question their entire life while doing their hair? She smirked slightly, the first hint of playfulness I'd seen from her. Only the ones who look like they're hiding something. My breath hitched. Hiding, I repeated. She leaned in just a little closer, adjusting a strand near my face. Her fingers brushed my cheek for a second longer than necessary. Yeah, she said softly. You. I swallowed, suddenly very aware of how close she was. That obvious? Not to everyone, she said. Just to me. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The salon noise faded into the background. All I could hear was my own heartbeat and the quiet realization creeping in. This wasn't just a haircut anymore. And whatever was happening, I wasn't sure I wanted it to stop. I tried to focus on anything else. The hum of the blow dryer. The chatter from the other side of the salon. The faint scent of shampoo and hairspray in the air. Anything that could ground me back into something normal. But nothing felt normal anymore. Not when she was standing this close. Not when her fingers kept brushing against my neck, sending tiny shocks through my skin. You're tense, she murmured. I'm fine, I said quickly. She raised an eyebrow, catching my reflection. You don't look fine. I exhaled, my shoulders dropping slightly. It's just a lot of pressure, I guess. From him? The question came so naturally, like she already knew the answer. I nodded. What's he like? She asked, her tone neutral but curious. I hesitated. How do you describe someone you've been trying to convince yourself you love? He's successful. Confident. Everyone likes him. And you? That question again. I forced a smile. Yeah, of course. She didn't buy it. I could tell by the way she went quiet, focusing on my hair but not saying anything for a moment. Then, softly, she said, "You don't sound convinced." I looked down at my hands in my lap, fidgeting with my fingers. "It's not that simple," I admitted. "It never is," she replied. There was a pause. Then I felt her hands gently tilt my chin up, guiding my face toward the mirror again. Our eyes met, and this time, I couldn't look away. "You deserve to feel something real," she said quietly. My breath caught. Real. The word lingered in my chest like an echo. Because if I was honest, I hadn't felt anything real in a long time. Not with him. Not with anyone. Until now. And that realization scared me more than it should have. Because the way she was looking at me, it wasn't just professional anymore. And the way my heart was responding, that definitely wasn't part of the plan. "I think we're almost done," she said softly, stepping back for a moment. I barely noticed. I was too busy trying to understand what was happening inside me. Because this feeling was new, unfamiliar, and dangerously easy to fall into. She moved around me again, adjusting a few strands near my face. Her touch was slower now, more deliberate. Like she wasn't in a rush anymore. Like she didn't want this to end either. "Can I?" she asked quietly. I frowned slightly. "Can you what?" She didn't answer right away. Instead, she reached forward, her fingers brushing lightly against my jawline, tilting my face just a little. My breath hitched instantly. "This angle," she murmured. "It suits you." But she didn't move her hand away. For a second, just a second, it felt like time stopped. My heart was racing, loud enough I was sure she could hear it. "This isn't professional, is it?" I whispered, my voice barely steady. Her eyes flickered with something. Something deeper, something honest. "No," she admitted. The honesty of it sent a chill through me. She didn't step back. She didn't pretend. She just stayed there, close enough that I could feel the warmth of her breath. "You can tell me to stop," she said gently. I should have. I knew I should have. I had a boyfriend. A party to go to. A life that was already decided, already planned out. But for the first time in a long time, that life didn't feel like mine. And this moment? It did. "I don't want you to," I said, before I could stop myself. Her gaze softened, but didn't waver. "Are you sure?" she asked. No. I wasn't sure about anything anymore. But I nodded anyway. That was all the permission she needed. She stepped closer, closing the distance between us. And just like that, the line between right and wrong disappeared. Everything slowed down. The noise of the salon faded into a distant blur, like the world had decided to step back and give us this moment. Her hand was still resting lightly against my jaw, warm and steady. My breath felt uneven, like I had forgotten how to control it. "This changes things," she whispered. I nodded, even though I didn't fully understand what things meant anymore. "I know." There was a pause, a fragile, trembling second where either of us could have stepped away. But neither of us did. Her eyes searched mine as if giving me one last chance to reconsider. I didn't. And then, she leaned in. Softly. Slowly. Like she was afraid I might disappear if she moved too fast. Her lips brushed against mine, barely there at first, hesitant, testing. And then everything inside me lit up. It wasn't like anything I had felt before. Not rushed. Not expected. Not something I was trying to convince myself to feel. This was different. This was real. I responded without thinking, my hand instinctively reaching up to her wrist, holding on to her like I needed to make sure she was actually there. The kiss deepened, still gentle, still careful, but filled with something undeniable. Something honest. When she finally pulled back, both of us were breathing a little heavier. Neither of us spoke. Because what could we say? That everything had just changed? That one moment had undone something I had been building for years? I stared at her, my mind racing. I started, but the words wouldn't come. She didn't push me. She just watched me quietly, patiently. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel confused about what I wanted. I felt terrified of it. We sat in silence for a few seconds longer, the air between us thick and heavy. My hair, once a simple task to fix for a party, now felt like a symbol of everything shifting inside me. I shouldn't have, I started, shaking my head slightly. You shouldn't have what? She asked softly, tilting her head, curious, patient. This. Feeling this. Kissing you, I trailed off, unable to finish the sentence. It was as if saying it aloud made it real and terrifyingly permanent. She smiled faintly, a small, knowing curve of her lips. It's not wrong. You're just discovering something. I swallowed, my fingers twisting nervously in my lap. Discovering something about me? About you. Both, she said. Her hands returned to my hair, running through it like nothing had changed, except everything had. I looked at her, and for a moment I thought I could see right through her. Not the stylist I had met 10 minutes ago, not the professional guiding my hair to perfection, but a woman who somehow understood me better than anyone else ever had. You're different, I murmured. I wasn't expecting this. Life doesn't follow scripts, she replied. Sometimes it throws surprises at us, and we get to decide whether we run or we embrace them. I let her words sink in. My mind was spinning. Part of me wanted to leave, go to the party, go back to the life I thought I was supposed to lead. But another, louder part. The part that had felt her lips against mine, her warmth in every touch, wanted to stay. Am I making a mistake? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. She shook her head gently. Not if you're being honest with yourself. Her honesty was like a mirror, reflecting something I had ignored for years. The truth was raw, and it scared me. But it also felt freeing. The scissors clicked again as she worked on the last strands of my hair, and I realized that my reflection didn't just show a new hairstyle, it showed me. And for the first time, I liked what I saw. The final snip of the scissors echoed like a punctuation mark, and I realized something profound. Nothing would ever be the same after today. I stood up slowly, running my fingers through my newly styled hair. It felt lighter. Not just physically, but emotionally. I felt awake, alive, free. She handed me a mirror, and I caught my own reflection. My eyes met mine, and then hers in the glass. There was a spark there, unspoken but undeniable. Something that had been hidden, now finally visible. I don't know what to do, I admitted, the words tumbling out faster than my thoughts could catch. You follow what your heart tells you, she said, smiling softly. Not what anyone else expects. The truth hit me like a wave. All my life, I had been following the rules, living in expectations, fitting myself into someone else's world. But not anymore. Not today. My mind flashed to him, my boyfriend, my party, the carefully planned life. And suddenly, it all felt hollow. The excitement, the glamour, even the love I thought I felt, it couldn't compare to what I was feeling now. What she made me feel. I took a deep breath and with a sudden clarity, I made my choice. I choose you, I whispered, almost afraid to say it aloud. Her eyes widened slightly, and then a soft, radiant smile spread across her face, the kind that reaches the eyes and warms the soul. Good, she said simply. Because I've been waiting for you to see it too. And just like that, the world outside the salon, the parties, the obligations, the expectations faded away. It was just us. And in that moment, nothing else mattered. We laughed softly, nervous and exhilarated, as if stepping into this new reality together was both terrifying and thrilling. She reached for my hand, intertwining our fingers, and it felt like home. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't pretending. I wasn't performing. I wasn't anyone's accessory, anyone's reflection. I was me fully, completely me.